Ladies and gentlemen, we are live here today at Portugal, here at Portimao, the beautiful track in round 3 of the Zoom Racing League. I'm here with Nathan Doan, and a little bit of I don't know, unprepared broadcast we got going here. We had a Division 2 race that had some crazy weather, full qualifying, and, caused us with a little bit of delays, so a little bit of unprepared podcast. We apologize for that, guys, and we're underway though. Nathan, I know you just got out of Portugal race, and I don't know what it was, a crazy race overall, but what sort of expectations do you have based off your experience going into this?
Well, I'm not expecting too many overtakes around here because it's a really tough track to follow unless you clearly have the pace over another car. But other than not really any on-track action, I think qualifying should be a little bit more exciting because it's full qualifying this time around. I don't know, what are you expecting with your non-experience around here?
No, definitely the full qualifying is awesome. We do these a couple times a year. I think we have full qualifying lined up for Portugal. We've got it lined up for Monaco, of course, and we've got it lined up for our season finale and in Saudi Arabia at Jeddah. And these things are always just such a thrill, especially as a driver. I know sometimes up here in the booth, things can get, sometimes you're sitting and watching drivers in the pits, and there's not a whole lot of on-track action to follow. But for these drivers, these are intense laps that we are on board with, and these are intense moments. We're in qualifying session 1 right now, and for those who don't understand how this works, the bottom 5 drivers are going to drop out, and they will be done. They won't be able to move on to qualifying session 2 or qualifying session 3. So right now we've got those drivers, there's a lot of drivers that don't have laps in, but 16 and onwards would be essentially eliminated moving forward. Actually, you know what, would it be 15 onwards? I know we have some people absent.
No, it would be the bottom 4 if there were 19 people.
So yeah, we're only going to lose 4 drivers in Q1 because we do have 1 absence. And Nathan, let's talk about that absence. I know it's someone from the Ferrari family, and he's dealing with some electrical issues right now. He's a notable driver in the Ferrari family at that, though. Eruption. I know he's still trying to get in here. How much of a loss would that be for Ferrari to not have him here today?
Well, we've always seen Eruption's pace. He's clearly a very fast driver, definitely having potential for the win, and if we just don't have him in here, that's going to be a huge loss of points. But right now, a team that doesn't need to lose points is Alfa Romeo, but right now I'm seeing Sneaky, the reserve driver for Alfa Romeo, has been disqualified from the session.
Oh no. Not sure what's going on with that. I'm also seeing some lag spikes. I'm not sure if you're seeing that as well. Oh, and we've got a host migration. Did you get that as well?
I saw Ethan leave the session, but I didn't get the migration thing yet. But I don't know, every time a host leaves, that can really affect the lobby. But let's hope for the best here as drivers are still setting laps. Some on the medium tire. Very, very interesting to go on the medium tire in qualifying, but if they think they're fast enough, then by all means you're saving set to soft tires for the next sessions and maybe even the race if you want to go that route.
Really interesting. A lot of drivers have not gone out yet. I know track evolution is a big thing here, but for some of these drivers that are definitely faster, such as Dougie, Ethan Patel, Garrett Elder, these guys who we constantly see towards the top, do you think it's a little bit of a risky game playing that strategy where you're just going to go for a lap in the last minute?
I mean, if you're one of those drivers that makes mistakes easily, then I think having 1 or at least 2 runs would be worth it in Q1, but yeah, track evolution, if you wait for the track to warm up and you have that 1 lap and it goes all right, you could be into the next session quite easily.
So Dougie Falcons is actually, I know we just talked about it, but Dougie Falcons is out on a lap right now. We're going to see what kind of banker he puts in. He's got to be one of my favorites to get pole here today, especially with Eruption out. Couple drivers capable. I think Barney Goatmere, Ryan Newton, I'm sorry, he's recently renamed Ryan Newton, is capable as well. Lights has always shown quick times. Colin Edwards coming out early, showing some quick times as well. Garrett Elder has been really showing up for Williams these past weeks too. And Sid Sadgare also. There's a lot of drivers capable in Division 2, and it's going to be really interesting just to see who comes out on top. And yeah, Dougie's out a little bit of a moment. That might actually a whole lot of a moment. That might be it for this run.
I think still if he can finish the lap though, he'll at least have a time on the board and he could maybe find himself 12th. I didn't see how big the moment was, but hopefully it wasn't too big. And another driver, one of my favorites for pole position, this might be a bit of a stretch, but you know, Colin Edwards, Klinsman himself for Alpine, I think he could also be in it, but you know, even though he had that moment, I guess Doogie could still find enough time to go P7 overall, and I think he should be safe for qualifying too.
Yeah, Colin Edwards' time is definitely really good. That should be all that he needs. Colin Edwards is actually a no assist driver. I think he might be a cockpit player as well. I'll have to verify that, but I know that he does some really impressive work out there, and it's cool seeing him race at the top level like this. Got a couple drivers on out laps. Sid Satger's out finally, deciding he's gonna go lap in. Ethan Patel seems like he was able to rejoin, even though we had some issues with the host. So Ethan will need to get out here soon and get a lap in that'll put him through. Still seeing a little bit of lag on my end, but let's see. Do we have anyone on laps at the moment that we can hop on board with?
No, but Stelios Rapaz did just finish his lap and he went P4, so far with Alpine, they're 1 and 4. This is a good showing, but obviously it's not over yet.
Right.
You know,
I think Alex Duarte may be on a lap. Nope, he looks like he just finished a lap. Okay, so
this is the broadcaster's favorite part of qualifying, where it's 5 minutes and we just wait while the drivers wait. They get ready for the next session. We have to make some stuff up to talk about. And
hey, well,
something to talk
Sid
about.
Sadger is
Yes,
actually on a lap. There we go. So, following on board with Sid. Sid has been, as we say it every week. I feel like a broken record sometimes, but Sid has been an absolute treasure to ZRL. He has been here from the start, and he's a man who just brings a lot of culture to any team he's on. He's been a part of Red Bull. He's been a part of Ferrari, Mercedes, and now he's the team principal of McLaren, and he's really taken the reins of that team, and he's a leader by example, as you guys have seen in his past results. These past couple weeks, he has been really performing at top level, and I would be shocked to see him not get through qualifying here today.
Yeah, Sid, what a great guy, you know. Ever since I joined the league in season 4, he's been comforting. I'm actually getting a lot of leg in this lap. He's going down to second gear. He went down to first and went like 4 meters wide. I'm not really sure what's going on with this session. But anyways, he's a really nice guy other than the time where he beat me up. And I think he's also just a really fast driver to pair that. And let's see what kind of lap he can put in here. P4. Not too bad,
yeah.
by 1 millisecond, actually.
Yeah, if I had to guess, based off this lag that we are seeing, I would imagine that we'll probably finish out this full qualifying and then maybe remake the session, because I don't think the lag will matter until we get to the race, but we definitely are seeing some lag in this qualifying.
Yeah, and Ryan Newton actually put in a great lap. We've seen his pace, and we've known that it's great. That's P2 so far. And the man we might have to blame for the leg is on his outlap now, so we'll have some excitement from him.
There'll be a lot of pressure right now.
Lap, actually.
Shry, okay, yep. So we'll hop on board with Shry first, because Shry is he's in all or nothing mode at this time, and Ethan Patel will be right behind him doing the same thing. So first we'll watch Shry's lap, see what he puts up. This will be his first lap and also his final lap, so hopefully he's able to put it up on the board for the Mercedes guys. Do you think, or do you have any notable people that you would expect to be out through these early stages?
Out as an eliminated? Or,
yeah, well, sorry, eliminated, correct. Yeah.
To be eliminated, I know. I respect Fitz and everything, but pace in D2 is, I'm not sure if it's quick enough. But, he's 13th, he's sitting pretty right now, so if he can just stay ahead of the people behind him, believe it or not, he will get into the next session. Maybe Notorious Jelly, I believe a reserve driver for Alfa Romeo, and Yeah, I think maybe those two only. Other than that, everyone else is on very equal
Ooh.
pace to one another, so it's gonna
So
get
Shy
dicey
is
here.
that Shy puts up a good time. Shy is gonna go P5 for the moment, and we have Ethan Patel out on his lap right now. Again, his one and only lap, and he just invalidated it. So Ethan Patel might be an early exit today. He's gonna have to. Well, he'll get one more lap. It'll just be no battery. So if I'm Ethan Patel right now, I'm dragging my brake, getting as much battery back as I can. It looks like that's kind of what he's doing, because he's gonna get one more attempt at this, and it's gonna be a lap without full battery. This will be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like almost 50% battery, not even. That's just not what you want around Portugal. It's a track where you depend on the exits for almost every turn in this track. So, ooh, as the Red Bull team principal, you can't be happy about that, can you?
Oh, well, I don't hold any bias during the broadcast. Ethan is, Oh, wow. I don't know how that didn't invalidate this lap, but he's still going. So we'll see what happens. He's down to 24% battery already, and that's invalidation. So Ethan Patel will be knocked out. He will be starting from the back. That'll be one of them gone. Sneaky will be gone as well. He's been disqualified. Anand Trivedi, not sure what's going on with... Oh, he's on soft starting lap right now. And then we've got Notorious Jelly also right for... We'll keep on board with Notorious Jelly. He'll be the first to cross the line out of those drivers. Mateo is in the hot seat. Fitz Dickwell's also in the hot seat. P14 to P15. These guys need to find times on their laps right now. Notorious Jelly through Sector 1, I believe he had improved on his time. He's going to need about 3/10 though.
3/10 around Portugal. I mean, with all these different corners, I think that you should be able to pull it off. But if you can't, then that's a pretty big issue, and I'm on board with the Anand Trivedi. He's not making too many mistakes, but he made one big one, and he invalidated his lap because of it, so I think he will be
Anand Trivedi is invalidated?
Sure.
Yep, he'll be done. Yeah. So Anand Trivedi will be knocked out as well. Notorious Jelly still trying to prove his time and put Fitz Dickwell into that final spot. And is Fitz Dickwell on a lap as well right now? Let's see. He is, so we'll see what sort of time Notorious Jelly puts up as he comes around the final corner. It's going to be close. Oh, and he's not improving. So Fitz Dickwell is going to be saved today by Notorious Jelly. He will get through to qualifying session 2.
Actually, it's might be a long shot, but Anand Trivedi got to the line fast enough. So if he can
he did
the lap fast enough, I don't know. In my opinion, he's going very low with the gears. Second gear around here. I don't know about that, but if he can make it, I'll respect him. And Fitz actually went P11, so Alex is the one that will be kind of...
So Anand is up a 10th through Sector 1. All he needs is a 10th to knock... well, let's take it back. You know what? He's going to need 5/10, isn't he? I don't know if this is going to happen. We'll have to check his time through the end of Sector 2, see where he's at, but he's going to need 5/10 because he's going to need an 18.7 to knock Alex Duarte down to that P16 position. And might be a tall task as he comes through the Sector 2 checkpoint. It does look like a clean lap. He's just got no battery. He's up 6/10. He needs 5. Coming to the line, we'll see if he has the power, the battery. He's at 6% battery. Will it be enough to get him through?
It's going to be so close. He's got 6% battery. I think he's losing time all the way through this long right-hander. And what will it be as he comes to the line? Will it be enough for Q2?
And it is! Wow, so Alex Duarte, unfortunately for the Mexican driver, he will be knocked out in Q1 from nowhere, from the rafters. Anand Trivedi makes a heroic lap and a heroic lead. All right, guys, and we are back live, and we have an interesting situation developing today. You can't really see it on stream, but from what I'm being told, we have rain on the track as we speak. So we've got drivers out there on soft tires trying to get laps in. It has just started to rain, so these drivers are doing everything they can to get these laps in right now to get through, because once this rain really starts coming down, that's going to be it. That's going to be all she wrote. So this will be pretty much the one and only lap for a lot of these drivers, as we've got Ryan Newton kind of leading the way. You can see the sprinkles if you turn up your resolution to 1920 by 1080, maybe. So yeah, these times I don't even know what to expect. We've got some greasy track conditions, and the light rain is definitely coming down. Still experiencing some desync issues, it appears, but we will continue to leave the session going, and all these drivers are just packed, crammed together, all trying to get the driest conditions they can. As Ryan Newton's going to come to the line, he does give it a little bit of a confidence lift coming out of the final corner, and across the line, he's going to be a 1:23.0, so we're about five seconds slow. Nonchavetti 1:23 as well. Weil 1:21. Combined YouTuber 1:21 as well, so 3 seconds slow.
Yeah, very interesting that Ryan Newton, of all people, we know him to be fast in qualifying. He's that far off, and that might be his only lap that he gets.
And keep an eye on these times. These drivers are crossing the line, and that is going to be it pretty much for all of them. All these times we see, that is going to be it. I know it's been a short session, but yeah, I mean, these guys who are getting laps in now, I think the next across the line is going to be an Alpine. Is that Stelios? Yeah, so Stelios is going to cross the line. This will pretty much be it for Stelios. And he's going to come in P12, so the track already evolving. Magnussen Cube crosses. Oh, Magnussen is just starting a lap, so that's not ideal for Magnussen, who will be definitely experiencing some very wet track conditions. Garrett Elder invalidated. It could be very well the end of his qualifying as well if this rain continues to ramp up. Eric McNerney is still in the pits. I think he's experiencing some disconnection issues. Yeah, so 3 drivers didn't even get times in. Almost looks like we see a little bit of racing going around the track.
Yeah, as I was watching the drivers on their outlap, it was Stelios Repas and Magnussen Cube that were so close together. They were fighting for position on track, and they were fighting on their hot laps, but now Magnussen has lost his front wing, so that is definitely qualifying over for him.
Wow. Yep, that'll be it. I don't expect any of these drivers to continue trying to do laps. We saw Stelios come across the line last, and you can see all the water just sitting on track right now. I hope all the drivers retire, just so we can go ahead and move on to third qualifying. There's not much left to be found here, is there?
No, not with these conditions. In Portugal, in my race, like once the conditions got worse, that was pretty much it. They never got better until a whole new session, so... Yep. That's pretty much it. That makes it very exciting for us, doesn't it, Duncan?
Yeah, well, we do have 3 drivers who are going to be competing for the best of the worst, you know, because these guys still do. Between Garrett and Magnussen and Eric, I guess they will continue to do laps and fight for that P13 spot. But we surely can't anticipate anyone else coming out to improve their times because the rain has really started to come down. You can see the track doesn't look anything like it did when we first started. All 14 drivers, or 15 drivers are in the pits, including Eric McNerney, who's lagged out. What a crazy qualifying that was.
Yeah, now that everyone's done with their laps, I'm gonna have to like start taking notes on details in the pit lane. Like, this is just, it's gonna be so boring.
Yeah, the rest of the time, I think unfortunately what's going to happen for everyone watching, you're going to see these drivers go ahead, throw on some intermediates, and prepare for a wet Q3. And they're just going to sort of, you know, get out there on the track, and they're going to be just adapting to these conditions so they can be prepared going to Q3. And it's just the grip is different. You don't want to, and when you hit Q3 and it's going to be a wet track, you don't want to go out there and this be your first time seeing the track and you have to do a hot lap, right? So that's what all these drivers are doing. You see even their guys in 3rd, 4th, 5th, they're putting on the intermediates and they're going to go back out and they're just going to do some warm-up laps.
Yeah, first of the drivers is Garrett Elder, Blue Collar Jesus himself, and it looks like he's going to be one of the only drivers giving us some action on track other than, I believe that's a Mercedes of lights. Yes, it is. So, you know, we'll just have something to watch. Both Mercedes now out on track, so... You know, always good to have a few cars that at least want to have some kind of driving around this track, some experience in these conditions. I'm not sure if it's going to be wet in the race, but if it is, then it should be good to get some laps done in these conditions just to kind of prepare yourself for the race.
I'm a little shocked Magnussen Cube actually retired without putting a lap in. He's okay with P14. I thought we were going to have a little bit of a shootout between Garrett, Eric, and Magnussen for that P13 spot. But Magnussen appears to have thrown in the towel, and Eric McNerney hasn't joined the session again yet. So Looks like Garrett will secure that P13, but he does just need to get a lap on the board before we move on to the next session.
There's actually a lot of cars down on track now in the turn 1 section in particular. And I'm getting very bunched up here, so Garrett having to find his way through some traffic here. The two Haas's getting out of the way sharpish. And I don't know, we should probably talk about the standings here because it is getting pretty close other than Mercedes, who are 30 points ahead in the constructors from Ferrari, from Red Bull, and all the other teams. So as a Red Bull team principal, obviously you're looking to win. But at the moment, Mercedes is very far ahead of you guys. I believe it's 39 points. Do you think your drivers can make up that gap in the amount of rounds that we have left?
You know, we talked a little bit about our goals this week. It's one thing we did over in the Red Bull Garage, and we can't look at the big picture. If we just focus on short-term goals and week to week, take it 1 week at a time. We believe that the long-term goals, they'll just happen. We can't look that far ahead. Every week is a new week. We're starting 0-0. As I take that quote from my favorite NFL team, the Colts. Every week is a new week. We're 0-0, and yeah, it's just kind of how we have to treat it. Our drivers' individual goals for our number one driver on each team or each division, we are aiming for a podium. So every week, shoot for a podium. See what you can get. As Garrett Elder does cross line with a 126.0, not going to be enough, obviously. And then for our number two drivers, if you can just continuously get around 11th, 13th or better would be an ideal goal every week. And as long as we can just stay better than that, I think that we have the formula in front of us for how to win our constructors championships.
I'd say that's a good mentality. So you're saying driver 1 and driver 2, right? So
Correct, yeah.
Would that maybe lead to some team orders? Like at Red Bull, do you guys do team orders, or no, it's not like that? It's just a number 1 and number 2 driver?
We have a number 1 and number 2 driver, but every situation can be seen differently. So I'll use our Division 4 as an example. We have two very strong drivers. And Leo Hudson has kind of shown up as he was expected to be the number 2 driver, but his performance has put him in the contention. So we let our drivers race, and when they need to race, if they both have pace, then we're just gonna let them go. And it actually ended up costing us a little bit in Division 4 yesterday, as we did have some Red Bulls tangle up on the first lap, and those things happen. But we got two competitive drivers that both want to win, and they both have the pace, so we'll let them race when they want to.
Yeah. So go ahead.
No, you're good.
Alright, so you said that maybe Leo Hudson was meant to be the second driver, but he's actually putting out some good performances here. Would maybe the position of the drivers change mid-season, or do you not want to be that complicated as a team?
No, they certainly could. If Leo proves to be the number one driver, he could be the number one driver. But at the moment, we'll see. I know Christian has been battling. He had a surgery to start the season, so his first two races, he was really kind of in recovery mode from a pretty serious surgery, a facial reconstruction, and he's really finally feeling healthy again. And I think with his health better, he's going to be able to put in more practice. He really should have been on for a podium yesterday, but he ended up getting fourth place because he was, like I said, in a Red Bull on Red Bull collision. And we'll try to avoid those as we move forward through the season, and I'm sure Christian will have some great performances.
Yeah, you had a similar situation last season with Cal. He had, I believe it was something with his arm, medical procedure.
Yeah.
But he ended up really just dominating D3 overall. So obviously Christian hasn't had that kind of season yet, but I think maybe that he could be there for the title if he's looking hard enough.
Yeah, he's a good driver. He's obviously really new to the game. I don't know who I guess was aware of that, but he just, got the game. He downloaded the game, I don't know, probably a week before last season started, and he had a pretty decent run at it. So I think in my opinion, I think he's the favorite to win it all still. That's why I picked him number 1, and Leo being up there, a competitor as well, is awesome. I love seeing it.
Yeah, so as we get closer and closer to Q3, you said that your goal for the number 1 drivers to maybe get around a podium. With this qualifying result as it stands, I think that he'll be able to accomplish that from 5th on the grid if it were to stand like that.
Yeah, I mean, Dougie is not a qualifying merchant by any means. Dougie has always been very, very consistent in the race and very, very crazy on his starts. I don't know if how many people have seen those clips of Dougie starts, especially at Mexico last season. We've seen Dougie to have some of the craziest starts in all of Zoom Racing League. He's not often on pole. You got other drivers who are faster in this division, such as Eruption last season, who we saw on pole many times. But yeah, Dougie's race pace, his consistency, his ability to stay clean from incidents. He's been a really fantastic addition to the Red Bull team. But in Division 2, we've got some issues with our second driver. Ethan Patel's kind of been on the struggle bus this season, and then you see him get an early exit in qualifying or in Q1 today. So he's going to be starting from P18. And like I said, our goals for Ethan, if he can just aim for consistently finishing P13 or better, that's all we need from him. But he's already not done that twice this season, and he's kind of got to get us like a P5 or something to make up for it before he gets back into his normal goals. And that's going to be tough to find for him today.
Yeah, I'll be looking at the battle between Ferrari and Red Bull in the constructor standings in this race, because obviously you do have a driver knocked out in last, but more importantly, Ferrari, we don't have a driver here, and the other driver is in 15th. So I'd say that you guys have the advantage to probably take back second place in the constructors standings from Ferrari. So very big advantage. Say somehow your 2 drivers were to be close together, but they're on different strategies. Would you maybe have something kind of like Checo in Abu Dhabi 2021, where you would hold up?
Yeah, definitely. It's always something we've tried to aim for. We've done it in the past as well. I know there's probably people out there who are watching this right now who've been a part of the Red Bull team. We do whatever it takes to win the constructors championships. So let's say Ethan, if the moment were to come where his race isn't compromised and he would have a chance to help Dougie, then that's definitely something we'd want to do, because Dougie's drivers championship is very important, but constructors is also important as well. So anything we can do to kind of clinch that up.
Yeah, great insight into the Red Bull team, but finally Q2
has exactly. Glad we found some content to get you guys through that session, but Q2 is actually finally over, guys. So we haven't seen any times improve for quite some time, but Eric McNerney is back into the lobby. That's something noteworthy. He did get back in. But other than that, I think we are done here in Q2. So let's go ahead and take it to intermission. We're going to head to Q1, boys. The top 10 are through. We have lost to Trevetti, Stelios Ripas, Garrett Elder, Eric McNerney, and Magnuson Cube, and we will see them when we get back to the grid. But we will see you guys right back in the action when we get back to Q1. Stay tuned. All right, and we are back with some Q3 action. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties there and between the lobbies, but we have drivers coming across the line already with times. 8 minutes left in the session already. Colin Edwards comes across with a 1:23.501. We've got 2 more Aston Martins about to cross the line as well. We got Fitzdickwell on the Aston Martin filling in today as a reserve. He's going to cross the line. He's going to put up a 1:23.991, and Mateo right behind him comes across with a 1:22.844. And these guys are on intermediate tires, but it looks like the track has really dried up. I wouldn't be surprised if people are waiting here to come out on softs here at the end of the session.
Yeah, something I was about to note is that these times should be going up very quickly as GRS is now enabled, so even more of a time advantage. But yeah, the track is so dry right now.
On my screen, it doesn't look wet at all. I see no rain, just some clouds. But I do see drivers coming out now on soft tires. Sid Satgare will be the first of those. We'll stay on board with Sid as he does his outlap, and he'll feel out the track at this moment. But 122s on intermediates, that has to be past the crossover. I remember seeing last race, there were people running the 127s or 126s on the intermediates in the race. And Garrett also did a 126 last session on intermediates. So I'd have to think 22, we are definitely in soft territory.
Yeah, I still don't think we'll have the times that we saw in Q1 though, because the track is very much colder than it was before in Q1. So I think I don't know. I'd expect mid 18s, low 19s is about where we're gonna be at for the top 5.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty good. It's hard to understand. I don't know if the game necessarily calculates the rain washing away the grip, but it's certainly something we see in real life. So I don't know. Well, I have no clue what sort of times to expect. Maybe yeah, 118s. If it were completely dry all the way through all 3 sessions, then this should definitely be a 117, low 117 at that. But I'm curious. Let's just see what Sid puts up. We'll hop on board with him. He's through turn 1, turn 2. They look like clean corners, and yeah, he's off and away. This looks like a good lap.
Yeah, very nice lap. 22.399. That's about what we were seeing in Division 3 for dry times, I believe. And yeah, these times are going to start becoming more and more representative. These guys have a lot of soft tires, so at least 2 runs I'm expecting. So yeah, we'll come down to the final few minutes of Q3, but for now, I have to say right now, Fitz, I underestimated him. I'd say that he'd be out in Q1. Look where he is now. He's in P5.
It's impressive.
P3.
Fitz, yeah, Fitz is you know, I would put him down towards the bottom of Division 3 is what I would have expected, but he's here today fighting for a top 10 spot, currently P5. I'm not sure if that'll stand, but he's currently P5 in Division 2 qualifying. That's insane. So, and when we see him get onto the grid, and there's going to be a lot of faster drivers behind him, it's going to be really interesting. It's going to shake things up a little behind. So he's across the line. We have, who is it? Is that another, was that a Williams across the line as well?
That was
Ryan Newton. Ryan Newton, yeah. Oh. So Sid crossed the line, and he put up a 118.2. Ryan Newton is just now starting his lap on softs as well. All these guys are coming out on softs now. Well, you know what? They're not coming out on softs, and they're right to not come out on softs. Actually, there's only a couple of people out on softs at the moment, and that's because if you were to come out on softs right now, as Ryan Newton has just done, this will be your final lap, unless you were to bail on the lap and come to the pits. This lap, this will be all he gets, so he won't get the advantage of track evolution that some of these other drivers will get. And that may have been a mistake in the Williams garage that they didn't count for. Unless he's just coming out to get a feel for the grip, and he's going to come right back into the pits. I'm not sure. So Lights finishes his lap. He may have time. Actually, yeah, he will have time to come back into the pits and get on a new set of tires. But yeah, Ryan Newton, not going to be as fortunate. This better be a good lap, because it's probably all he's going to get.
Yeah, he can always come back into the pits, though. Will he do that? I'm not sure. We'll find out soon, but someone who definitely needs to improve on this lap right now is Weil. Looks like he went for 2 out laps, because he's at 100%, and it is insane that he's on an out lap, so very interesting.
So Barney finishes it. He's going to be P3, 118.2. He's P3 for right now. I think he was expecting to be P3 by the end of things, but there's a lot of drivers that haven't put in soft times yet, so I'm not sure Barney's going to be too happy with that. I think seeing Lights at 117.9 means that there could be people in the mid to low 117s, and we're going to see those drivers start to come out around the 3-minute or below mark. So things on the track are about to get crazy. It'll happen real fast. We'll try to keep you guys in on the action, but it's going to be a shotgun finish to qualifying, just like it was earlier in qualifying 2. It's going to be some craziness.
You know, it will be close, but I think Ryan Newton might actually be able to make it back and go out for another run, because he's pushing flat out. He wants to get back to the pits to change his tires and get out on another lap.
It's going to be tough. Well, he's also going to get a chance of him getting held in the pits by his teammate. No, never mind. His teammate's not there. Okay, I was going to say if his pit crew's working on his teammate's car, then maybe not, but I don't know. He's still got 20 seconds or so till he makes it to the pits. I don't think this is happening. We'll keep an eye on it, though. We'll stay tuned with the Ryan Newton action, see if he can get back on track or not. 2:30 right now. It's going to be wicked close.
Yeah, with how long these like animations take to get the car in and out of the pit lane, he's going to be so close. He's going to be coming out like around, I don't know, maybe 1 minute 30.
So the youngster of Mateo is back out on the track. 12 years old from Canada. Absolute insanity being this fast, this young. He's also a little bit of a YouTube sensation. I don't know if we have any of his fans tuning in today, but Mateo getting thousands and thousands of views on his time trial videos. last week put up a video of him going top 1% at Brazil in time trial in cockpit mode as well. So I think that's really impressive.
Yeah, to start so young and have all these different kind of factors like cockpit camera, and I'm assuming he's on no assist, but if he is, to learn that all at such a young age, I have to applaud that. I just have to hope that he doesn't win a race, because I think
He'd be the youngest. Are you the youngest currently?
I think I am the youngest currently, so I'm just willing him not to have a good race. But no, I completely respect him as a driver, just not if he takes my title, of course.
Yeah, so he will be the first one to start a lap. We're definitely going to hop on board with him. I think that we have some people from his fan base in the chat. I know he brings a big fan base, so let's keep on board with him. Ryan Newton out on a lap, by the way. Spins coming out of the pits. He's got a minute left. There's no chance this guy's getting a lap in. Sorry, Nathan, not going to happen. But Mateo O is. He's got a 122.8 right now, intermediate tire set. The sun is coming out through the clouds. It's peeking through. The tires are warm. The track is at an ultimate grip level. And we're at the end of qualifying 3. This has to be the prime conditions in all racing, really. Because when you get to the end of qualifying 3, you're talking about a Formula 1 car in qualifying, like in hot lap mode. You know, everything's tuned peak. This is just premiere.
Yeah, this is the fastest that the fastest racing cars can probably ever get.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a driver, a good driver in car pairing is what you need to have a good season overall. And we've got Mateo in the car. He's pushing this car to its limit. What can he find? He's down. He's up 3.4 seconds in the second sector. So he's setting purple sector times. Ryan Newton finishes, and well, he didn't get to the line, I guess.
Yeah, so he didn't make it. But Mateo, yeah, he's definitely he's setting up purple sectors, but a lot of guys behind him are just coming through those sectors, so we won't know for sure if those are true purple sectors. But he's going to come across the line, and it's going to be a 1:17.8. It's going to be pole for now. We've got his teammate in the Aston Martin behind him, Fitzdickwill. Can he surprise us again? He's up 3.6 seconds as he comes around the last corner. He's going to come across the line, and he's going to put up a time that puts him P5 for the moment. And AlphaTauri's coming across the line. Weil is going to jump up to P1. He jumps in front of Mateo. Dougie Falcons next across the line is going to jump to P1 as well. And then we've got a Haas behind him, combined YouTuber, going to go to P2. Unheard of from combined YouTuber. We've got a Mercedes right behind him of Lights. Going to cross line and jump to P1. It's rapid fire. Colin Edwards is going to cross line behind him. He's not going to be able to improve. Finally, Shrai's going to cross. From P9, he jumps to P3, and then McLaren of Sid comes across. Where did he jump to?
P1.
Sid to P1? Are you kidding me?
1:17.285. That's P1 for the McLaren driver.
Oh my gosh.
Pole position, and he has shown us all.
Well, we promised you guys an exciting finish to qualifying, but I did not expect. What the heck just happened, Nathan?
Dude, I have no idea. The times just kept on coming in.
So I don't know if Track Evolution just absolutely found its peak at the very last minute or what, but that was absolutely crazy. These drivers put on a show. Mateo put in a time that I thought was really respectable, 17.8. He went P1. He's sitting down in P7 right now. 6 drivers crossed after him. He has to be thinking, what in the world, man? I just went P1 in qualifying, and 6 people out-qualified me at the last second. Well, we are in for one heck of a race, Nathan. This is gonna be nuts.
Yeah, I can't wait to commentate it.
Isn't this fun, man? I love this stuff.
Dude, that was some of the best commentating I've heard in Zoom Racing League. Just in that little moment, you're going crazy with all the drivers crossing the line.
Well, I appreciate that, Nathan, but we're still live right now. We have not gone to intermission, Nathan, so we are still about to go live. We typically don't take intermission breaks between Q3 and the race because we don't do formation laps. Unfortunately, thank you, Codemasters. But this will be a fun start to the race. I'm excited.
Well, that certainly didn't change my standpoint, because what can you say, guys? That was some of the best commentating I've seen in Zoom Racing League. And that's what we love to bring you guys here, and the lights will come very soon. And I'll leave it to Duncan, because with those skills, I think you can take the start.
We'll try. I'm in camera control too, so I will do my best. But who is your favorite after we've seen that crazy into qualifying? Who is your favorite as we get this race going?
Well, I have to say, Sid, the likable character, he's on pole position. He took everyone by surprise. I'd say that he's giving us the best action while being one of the best, like community guys in Zoom Racing League. So he's my favorite for this session win.
I also see some clouds in the air. I don't know if we have some rain in store to make this even more action-packed, but I kind of hope we do. We'll see what happens. We got 3 seconds, and we're going to have the drivers on the grid.
It's that moment.
All right, so we have 3, 4, 5 lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. Looks like Lights gets a pretty good start on Sid as they head down towards turn 1. Lights side by side with Sid. 3 wide going into turn 1. Dougie Falcons gets a crazy start, and Dougie Falcons has slipped through to P1. He's going to go. Oh, and there's Mercedes on Mercedes contact in the background. Oh, no. We'll have to catch up with what happened in the back, but looks like everyone is on and moving. And Entrevetti falling down to P20 as well. Let's get some movement up on our leaderboard, see how far drivers have moved, and we've got a lot of drivers moving everywhere. Sid down to P16 after that contact with Dougie that stewards will certainly review. We are off to a crazy start. Wow, so looks like Wyall has already started to form a little bit of a train behind him. Mateo, the 12-year-old kid from Canada, up 3 spots behind Wyall, and this race has just gone crazy.
Yeah, absolute shambles for the 2 Mercedes and the 2 McLarens, as there's even more action going on with Eric McNerney and Sid. I think Sid went into the back of his teammate, pushing him through the corner, and he's around, as is the Mercedes of Itchry. He went off earlier in this lap, and it's just going so wrong for everyone who we favorited as the probably top 5 in this race, and there's more people.
Oh no, Mateo!
Mateo!
You hate to see it. Well, for the Mateo fans in the chat, I don't see any damage. He's going to keep moving. We're going to stay strong. But we've got a lot of drivers moving up. Look at this. We've got Eruption up 5 spots from the back. Got to keep an eye on him. We know that he is one of the fastest drivers in Zoom Racing League. We've got Ethan Patel up 6 spots from P18 after his qualifying 1 being shambles. Sneaky, unheard of, fighting with Garrett Elder for P10 at the moment. Up 9 positions. Magnussen Cube in the Ferrari, we talked about being the only Ferrari driver we thought this week, up to P9, 6 places up. Stelios Repos is up 4 spots. Fitz Dickwell from Division 3 at the bottom of it is going to be up a couple spots to P7, hanging tight. Combined YouTuber, a little bit of a rough start. Barney Goatmere is up 3 spots as well to P5. Colin Edwards is up 6 places to P4, and Wyall has gone up 3 places as well to P3. So crazy start. Lots of people changing positions, but we have to talk about Dougie Falcons just absolutely taking the Mercedes sandwich and just slipping straight through into turn 1. And I don't know what the stewards will say, but at the moment we have a Red Bull of Dougie Falcons hanging out in P1 with Lights P2, 8/10 behind him.
Yeah, I've got to talk about Eruption, though. He's making moves in places that you wouldn't expect moves to be made. He's made a move in the uphill right-hander that's flat out even. And he is wasting no time trying to get back to the front of this pack, trying to bring Divide 2 to Dougie Falcons, but I'm not sure if he'll be able to make that big of a gap as he goes on his Red Bull teammate. Now, he's getting very close. That straight line setup is really helping him down the straight, and he gets past Technic Speedy before the braking zone even happened. So that's Eruption up 3 places in almost 1 lap. And he's going to set after the Williams of Garrett Elder and Sneaky. Sneaky, the reserve driver, I'm actually very surprised that he's been able to keep his position, because I've never seen his pace before, as Technic Speedy's going to come back at Eruption, maybe. With the DRS, it's not enough of a gap, though. And, oof, the 3 people that we've been talking about so much in qualifying, they're all in the back now. Mateo, Sid, Itchry, like, it just proves that anything can happen in these first couple of laps here in Portugal.
It absolutely can, but the race is not over for any of those guys. What we'd love to see is that all 3 of them have avoided damage. The whole pack is still together, really. I mean, we've got 3 drivers who have kind of separated themselves. Dougie Falcons, P1, Lights in P2, Wyall in P3. A little bit of a gap to Colin Edwards, 2.5 seconds back, but he's up 6 spots. He's having a heck of a race. Ryan Newton's in P5. So, you know, these guys, for the most part, are still all together in a single pack, but we've got a big DRS train forming behind Fitz Dickwell, and we talked about that a little. Fitz is maybe a little off pace to be up here towards the front of this pack, but these guys have to get by him, and they know that too. They know Fitz, and they know that this is a spot they want to be in. Stelios is going to make it happen right now. Max and Cube needs to be the next one by, and he's probably not going to get a chance to do that until the next lap.
No, I was just looking at the way that the Alpine just cruised past the Aston Martin, but you know, it's good to maintain these high positions like P8 for a driver that is not in this division. That's very good, as we have a spin from Alex Duarte, the Mexican driver. He's sorry about that. He's around, so yeah, that's
Yep.
now the pack is breaking up a little bit.
Barney Newton. We'll call him that. Why not? Barney Newton sitting in P5, applying a lot of pressure now to Colin Edwards, as he has made it past combined YouTuber last lap, and he is going to be trying to put the pressure down. Let's take a look. We haven't even taken a look at the tires these guys have on yet. All drivers except for Weil have started on the hard tires, so it's not surprising Weil has gotten a little bit of a gap on Colin Edwards. He's broken out about 3 seconds, and that gap is just continuing to widen. But you know, that makes it even more impressive what these guys in first and second place are doing. The Mercedes and the Red Bull have really just taken off on these hard tires, and they're going to be on optimal tire strategies depending on the weather, which we don't know what the weather could hold. And we saw some crazy stuff happen in Division 3.
Yeah, but something that I've seen that's very different between Division 2 and Division 3 is how close everyone is following each other. This DRS train is going back and back and back, maybe 6 cars, I'd say. And that's just great to see as a spectacle of racing, and we're just getting such good action. As I'm looking at Magnussen Cube, he's getting very close to Fitz, arguably the slower driver. Goes a little bit wide off track limits, but will he make the move?
He needs to, but he's not getting it done yet, so he's still stuck behind Fitz for another lap. We did have in the back, Mateo did get passed by Sid. Those are 2 fast drivers who are definitely out of place. We're going to have to watch them both work their way through the field. That'll be exciting to watch. But Magnussen is definitely stuck right now behind Fitz Dickwell. And appears that Fitz has lost the DRS on the car in front of him. And maybe last time around he had DRS on the Stelios, and that's why Magnussen wasn't able to get by. But if he doesn't get by this time, he might be in serious trouble. His race could definitely be compromised. And behind him, Sneaky's in the same position. So Sneaky's obviously showing pace right now. Garrett Eller, the whole train really needs to get by Fitz. And Fitz is just doing everything he can right now to hold on to this track position. And he's done a great job at it too.
Yeah, I'm looking at Sneaky right now. He's the reserve driver for Alfa Romeo, and it's always the drivers that you don't know that are the ones that surprise you, aren't they, while setting the fastest lap, as it looks like Magnussen Cube is going to make the move around Fitz Dickwell now. And that looked fairly simple. Can Sneaky maybe go off that? No, he's way too far back.
Yeah, not this time around, nope. Fitz did have a little bit of a defensive position as he was going down the starting straight. He took the inside line thinking that maybe, you know, you can see he burned. He's down to 20% battery. So I think that maybe he was thinking he could burn and maybe outpower the DRS of Magnussen Cube. But Magnussen Cube used all his batteries well. You see his light blinking in front of Fitz. And, you know, I think that he knew that that was the moment that he was going to get, and he wasn't sure if anything else would approach him. But we have Weil from P3 making a spin. He's down to P7 and dropping rapidly. There's a big pack of cars that he's coming out right into the action of. Oh, no. So we've got Eruption. Eruption had a good view on it, but Weil had a great start up in P3 on medium tires, and now his race has been compromised by a spin.
Yeah, this train is getting big, and it looks like Sneaky might even make a move on Fitz. He does into this corner.
Some
they
contact.
Make so much contact. That's wild that they kept it straight, but Eruption will be smiling now under his visor. He's going for this move on this next straight, sets himself up for a wide exit so he gets to the straight line speed, but with the DRS advantage to all these cars, will he be able to get it in time?
We'll see
what he can do.
So Sneaky did not get DRS, but so Sneaky's gonna have to dump everything probably. Well, you know what? If it doesn't like Fitz doesn't really have the battery to attack, but Eruption is right there behind. Oh, and he's got a good run going into turn 3, and he's gonna go ahead. He knows that he cannot get trapped behind Fitz. Eruption is a veteran racer, and he's gonna give everything he can. He's gonna try to switch back on him. He's gonna have DRS. He's got a little bit of battery, but not a whole lot to play with. And he's gonna have to try to dive him right here. He cannot get trapped, so he's gonna try it. He's gonna hug it tight. Wow, Fitz does not give him much room, but he gives him just enough. And Fitz is gonna come out ahead. For the time being, Fitz Dickwell's holding the track position, and you know, good to him.
Yeah, I mean, Eruption's been pushed past his limits. He's now at like, I think that's 13% battery, and Fitz is just chilling with around 30. So very different battery percentages for all these drivers, but it looks like there's more action behind going on with Sid and BMRNG. making very good action through these corners that you don't normally expect an overtake, so good on them. But Eruption, he's still trying to get it past Fitzsticklow. I think he'll get a better run into the final corner here as he goes wide and sets himself up for the better exit once again. And with that straight line speed setup, I think he can get it right here, right now, because he's gaining, even through this right-hander, there's such a huge pace difference between the Aston Martin and the Ferrari.
Yeah, so he'll definitely get by him right here, but not without a fight. The thing that I love about this, and we'll keep an eye on Garrett, because Garrett's also trying to have a go, but it's not going to happen this lap. Garrett is also very fast and going to have to get through. But Fitzstick, well, we knew he was out of place. He was up to, what, P6? And Fitz knew Fitz is not, he's not stupid. He's very well aware that he was out of place as well. But he is not going out without a fight, and he's being clean about it too. He's just getting his elbows out a little bit, but there's nothing wrong with the fighting he's been doing. And he's down in a couple spots, but I think we could all both say that we expected that. It's just been awesome to see the sort of fighting he's been putting up and the progression he's had as a driver.
Yeah, even that small squeeze that we saw in Eruption going into that hairpin, it was still respectful. It was fully within racing rules, and he's just such a respectful driver, you know.
We're in a strange situation, but he's lost positions, and I would still maybe have him considered for driver of the day at this point. But still lots of race left to go. Anachavetti fighting with Schrei in the back. The Haas versus Mercedes. The Mercedes driver should be able to get the move done. It appears he does. And Non doesn't try to fight it too hard. He's going to go ahead and let him go, and he'll live to fight another day. So, go ahead.
I've seen Mateo going very wide again. He got a little bit of oversteer on the corner, and he's out of battery, and he's got a penalty. It's all going wrong for Mateo. His fan base will be, I don't know, maybe crying a little bit. But he's going through so much right now. He's got no DRS advantage, and Shrai's going to be pulling up to the gearbox really quickly as he gets on that curb, which you can't really get on into turn 1. As another driver, Garrett Elder, gets a penalty as well. So I think track limits, that will be something very defining if everyone can follow each other very closely, because I almost got a penalty, but I was so far away that it didn't really matter. So we'll see what these drivers can do and if they can keep it on track while doing that.
I hate to say it, but the way that these clouds look, and I swear they're getting darker, yeah, I feel like we've got rain in the forecast. I don't think it's a coincidence that all 19 drivers chose the hard tire. I think that these guys are all planning to stay out until rain comes later in the race. And I could just, maybe I'm not the rain man, but I have a gut feeling that that is what is going on here. So we could be in for a very interesting finish. I'm seeing some desync, and I apologize that you guys are having to see that right now. We'll go ahead and hop on board with Lights, who's in P2 right now. Talk a little bit about what's going on with these guys up front. I know it's been a little bit quiet up here, but Dougie Falcons has actually extended the gap. He broke DRS on Lights, which is very good for the Red Bull drivers race. If he can continue to create more gap, right now he's broke it out to 1.9 seconds, and we'll keep an eye on that interval, but the bigger gap he gets, obviously the better. Colin Edwards is losing time to the front two drivers as well. You can take a look at your mini map and see that it's kind of became a story. The front two drivers, and then they've got some smaller packs here and there, but Colin Edwards 4.5 seconds currently back from the front two. Ryan Newton still in the conversation for a podium. He will be fighting with Colin Edwards half a second behind, but he's got 64% battery and he could pounce at any time. Combined YouTuber, the Haas driver, he was picked 11th in the draft, or no, 10th in the draft, and he's up to P5 right now. He's having a really good performance for the Haas. Stelios Ripas, right behind him, applying a lot of pressure as well. So we've got some storylines going through, and there's just a lot of good battles happening in the midfield that we're going to have to keep an eye on. Action in the back. Mateo goes around, and he's going to have to, he's going to reset the track. Not good for him, but he's going to lose 3 positions for the time being, make it 4. He'll be sitting in last place. But the race isn't over. I know we got fans from Mateo sitting in the chat. The race is not over. There's still time for a safety car. He doesn't have damage. He's going to keep moving. And here in Zoom Racing League, another thing to recognize is we do give out points for every position that finishes. So even though it's 20th place, that's still 1 point he could get, and that 1 point could make the difference at the end of the season.
Yeah, and I have to say this race is long, but it is also very similar to... Oh, actually, we have Ethan around turn 1.
Yep. I don't know if there's any damage.
Whoa! Oh, what's going on there?
Was there contact?
I don't know. It looks like maybe he's clipped a car while he was trying to rejoin the track, but he definitely faced the blunt end of it
Huh.
as he retires from the session. So, not one you want to see. But as I was saying, this race is looking very similar to our Division 3 race, and if it continues as the D3 race did, I'd say that we're in for some rain here, which, that's a terrible thing to see in like like a strategic standpoint. Like even I messed it up, and arguably that cost me the win. But it's all about strategy in this maybe a dry to wet race. But while like he's on mediums here, I don't know if maybe the rain was coming earlier than expected, but to be on the mediums here, is it? I don't know. Is it? Do you think it's a worth it strategy to try and extend until maybe rain comes?
Well, his teammate went hard, so if I were in the AlphaTauri garage, maybe I thought, hey, let's just split the strategy, and maybe Wyall comes up with the gamble that is huge for him. So that it could have been the strategy. And Sid Sagar is able to get by Fitzstick but not without cost, because he got held up enough that he has lost 3 seconds to Garrett Elder, and he's gonna have to find that time back now. But yeah, having Fitz in this grid has been really fun to watch.
Oh, here we go. It's eruption on Sneaky. Sneaky had a bit of a moment coming out of the hairpin as he runs into the wall. Does he have damage, the Alfa Romeo driver? No, he does not. But he had a moment and it just kept on going as he went down the straight. Eruption got past him. Maybe they made contact. I am not sure. But from P9 fighting for it as a reserve driver down to P11 having a little silly mistake. That's not what you want to see in Alfa Romeo.
No, it is not. But I think he does have damage because he's going pretty slow through these sectors. Sid's trying to get by, but he's definitely holding up Sid at the moment. Sid give him a little bump saying, hey, I'm right here. You're holding me up. If he does have damage, he really should move off the racing line. But, I don't know. We'll see what comes of it.
If he does have damage, it's not visible damage, at least from my point of view, because...
No, he's staying out.
Yeah, I've had that kind of situation in the past myself, and it doesn't feel great, but once you get to the pit stop and fix it, you're back into the race, and you didn't make a pit stop to fix it earlier. So,
all right, so
race.
Yeah, he's gonna stay out. Ethan Patel out of the race, and that makes it even more important for Red Bull. Dougie Falcons needs to get this win for the constructors' battles to stay alive. We've got, if you want any chance of catching Mercedes, you've got lights in P2 right now. Whoa! And that was a full send from Shry. He goes too deep, but he's going to hold on to the position. There's a little bit of contact. Wow. So, yeah, a lot of contact.
Oh, more contact. Even more contact between 3 cars, and Sneak is
what
coming out
in the
back of that. Eric going into the back of Fitz going into the back of Sneaky. It's just not what you want to see from what was such a clean battle earlier on. That dive bomb by Shry, that's also pretty questionable as well. I'm not sure if he just misjudged the braking point while trying to get past Fitz Dickwell, but...
Yeah, he went extremely deep into that corner. He kind of went for... I don't know what was going on there, but a switchback was attempted by Sneaky, and it wasn't there at the moment. Got another yellow flag in the back. I think that's Mateo having some more issues. Eric McNerney battling here with Fitz. He's going to be able to get by him. Looks like... do we have some people in the pits? Yeah, we do. We have Wyall. He's going to come in for the hard tire now. So maybe Wyall knows something we don't. Maybe there is no rain coming.
Yeah, the yellow flag in Sector 2, I can confirm that was actually Anand Trivedi himself having a little bit of a moment in the penultimate corner. But... even though he's been dive bombed, he's gone through all of it. Fitzstickwell is still being a respectful driver, not losing his temper at all. I think he's even getting pushed along now by Sneaky. Maybe we'll see some more kind of action like that. They did make contact into this last corner. Let's hope it's not the same fate. They look very respectful there. As Sid made up so many positions to that contact and that whole sequence early, he was like, I think P12, and now he's into P10 from all that contact.
Well, it certainly was in his favor. Up front, we've had a little bit of a snoozer for this race. I know we've got Dougie still holding on to the lead. Lights still 2 seconds behind. Really, nothing has changed. Colin Edwards 4 seconds back, and Ryan Newton sitting half a second behind with 50% battery. I feel like this is a broken record. I'm repeating myself from 5 minutes ago, but it's it's the same story.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Barney is trying to really just save battery as Sneaky lead the session. If he's trying to save battery in Portugal here, battery is really crucial. So maybe he is just trying to save battery. He's got a time penalty. He's just trying to get dragged along by Klinsman. He is out of that 3-second gap between him and Stelios Repas actually. So if he keeps going like this, I think he's actually made a pretty good call.
Yeah, you could be right. It'd be interesting to see who pits first and what kind of damage the undercut or overcut could do. I'm not too sure if there is one here.
Oh,
To be honest, you know anything about that?
Say again. I was
Yeah,
focusing
no.
on Alex spinning around.
Is he okay back there? Let's see. Looks like he's able to get going again. Undercut and overcut. Do you know if there's any sort of advantage we need to look out for?
Well, so there was rain in my race, and I did go for the overcut, and it did not pay out. I lost about 3 seconds in the pits, so I'd say undercut is either the best strategy or just pitting with your opponent is what you should do around this track.
And that might be what we see some of these drivers try to do. We are to the point where some of these drivers could be looking for undercuts. As we see Eruption decide that it's time, we'll see where he comes out. As he heads into the Ferrari garage, he's going to switch to a set of medium tires. And this is definitely an early pit stop for him, but some of these drivers could just be saying that they don't really care about the tire wear they're going to be experiencing at the end. They just want the undercut. So we'll see if this undercut pays off. I didn't pay attention to where he was before he went in, so it's going to be kind of hard to track. We've also got Mateo into the pits. I know he was in second to last place. That might be right. So
Yeah.
we'll keep an eye on that as well.
And, you know, Ferrari's strategy has never been, like, known for its great, not any thanks to the real-life team, of course, but this is definitely an undercut situation here. I don't even know who he was behind, but he's really trying to get these medium tires up to temperature before, really work on that gap before the driver ahead of him hits, so...
Yeah. He was around the Sid Satgar P9 range, so I'm curious to see what happens after those drivers come into the pits. See if he comes out maybe in front of Sid or behind Sid. You know, so a lot of drivers right there who are close in skill levels, and I don't know. We'll see what happens.
There's not much of a battle going around the range where Eruption was, other than maybe Eric and Shirai, but...
The other Ferraris into the pits. Yeah. So Ferrari strategy is definitely, they've noticed something about the undercut. You're part of Team Ferrari, and you must know something I don't, but we'll see if this pays off.
Yeah, I wonder if it's down to the track conditions getting a bit colder and maybe the mediums being able to go longer, but yeah, it's very questionable. I don't think I would have done it even if I was told to by my strategy team in Ferrari, so...
Yeah, it's definitely a little early. I know the game recommends that you pit around lap 19 or 20. Whoa! Did we just have some Ferrari on Ferrari contact, or am I seeing some desync? Hopefully I'm seeing desync.
Oh, we have a Beamer. He's off into the wall. It looks like he just went straight on into the wall.
Wow.
Yeah, the two Ferraris, that is not normal for those two to be smacking each other around.
I'm not sure if there was contact or not. Beamer definitely did go off track as well. You say you did see contact?
Yeah, there was a lot of contact. I shouldn't be saying this because it makes us look bad, but there's definitely some shambles going on there as Fitz and Beamer having a little bit of a fight after Beamer had his moment. Ooh, this might actually get a bit close into this fast right-hander.
And Ryan Newton does get past Colin Edwards. Looks like Colin's going to come into the pits. Dougie Falcons is also into the pits, so we'll keep an eye on that. See where that puts him versus Lights towards the front. Lots of drivers going to the pits now, so, you know, I think lap 18 might even be early to pit. So, like I said, 19 might have been optimal. But you see Eruption coming early, and these engineers are probably starting to go into panic mode. Now they have to box because they can't get undercut. And then because, you know, it starts sort of like a chain effect. As soon as one driver pits, they all have to sort of pit in reaction. And it's going to cause some interesting tire wear issues towards the end of the race. And now Trevetti, I believe, having some more issues coming in the final corner. He's got 16-lap old hards. If I were him, I'd box it. Oh, he's going to stay out, so...
Someone I've seen that's actually doing very well is Sid. He set a fastest lap on tires that are arguably past their prime at this point. But the hard tire around Portugal, it's really a nice tire to be on, and the times just get I don't know. I'd even say faster with the amount of fuel in your car going down, and you know he's doing a great job right now maintaining his position. If he pit right now, I'd say he come around probably P12 with the shambles that we've seen between the two Ferraris.
Yeah, he definitely could. Let's see if Lights decide. Lights did decide to come to the pits, so we'll stay on board with Dougie Falcons. See if the gap changes at all. He was 2 seconds ahead of Lights when he went to the pits. Looks like Lights is on pit exit right now. And it's a little bit closer than I thought. Well, I don't know. I'll have to see once the Delta plays out. Lights only 1.8 seconds back, 2 seconds back for now. He's got cold tires, so.
Yeah, it should drop down quite a bit as the two Williams double stacked actually, and that's been a good strategy for them. Haven't lost too many positions. So. Currently I'm looking at Ryan Noon. He's net P3 with all these cars ahead of him having to pit, but he's got that 3-second time
Wow.
penalty.
You know what's interesting? Barney went 1 lap later, and he came out in front of Colin Edwards. He did the overcut.
Interesting.
And you know what else? Dougie, he went a lap earlier. He gained 1 second on Lights, but that's not a crazy undercut as well. So I think if we had to choose between the overcut or undercut, I would have to say it's pretty neutral. I don't think that there is like a crazy advantage one way or the other here in Portugal.
You know, I'd say the reason, I think I saw Klinsmann and Notorious Jelly having a bit of fight, so that might be the reason why Klinsmann has lost so much time, but he's gonna be able to get this position back on the straight. Let's see what he can do here.
Gonna have the DRS. He's gonna put down the battery. Nope, looks like he's content in staying here for the time being. Sid Satgar is finally gonna come to the pits pretty late, so he is the definition of the overcut that we'll have to keep an eye on to see how he finishes. Eruption is able to get past Sid pretty clearly as well, but Eruption came in 4 or 5 laps ago, so massive undercut by his standards. And he's got a couple drivers in front of him that are okay. So Notorious Shelly's in P7, kind of holding up combined YouTuber and Eruption at the moment, and these guys are gonna have to make quick work. What am I? Okay, you still got me?
Yeah, I think we're good here, but it looks like that was Combined and Notorious Jelly. They're just having quite a bit of contact as Combined is still going for it. Doesn't have the grip to do so, but it looks like Eruption might get around on both of these two. This Notorious Jelly ahead is out of battery. What a dive by Combined YouTube.
Wow, oh, they're side by side. We got a good. Oh, it's Eruption goes around. Oh. Eruption is into the wall. He just gets on the throttle a little bit too much, but he had a great angle on that fight between Combined YouTuber and Notorious Shelly. And looks like Combined YouTuber is going to have the best of him on that occasion, but that is not good for the Ferrari. The Tifosi are crying in Italy at this very moment. Not good looks.
Yeah, not really good looks indeed. I got my Ferrari shirt on right now, and I'm just kind of questioning what's happening here. But,
well, you know, only you have the answer.
Yeah, you said the definition of overcut might be with Sid, but I'm looking at Celios Repas. He's in the lead of this race. And Notorious Jelly as well, with 20 laps to old tires. Maybe they're going for the soft road.
That would be really interesting. I hope that they are, because that would just be really fun to see where they end up. But yeah, I mean, Sid seems to, I mean, he's still behind Eruption, and I feel like they were kind of close before the pit, but I could be way wrong about that. We'll keep an eye on it.
Another driver that hasn't pit yet is Sneaky, but he left the session quite a long time ago, so I'm wondering when
his bot will do it. Yeah. Eruption picks up a 10-second time penalty. It's already bad, and it just keeps getting worse. Not where he wants to be right now.
10 seconds. No, 5 seconds. 3 seconds. I wonder where his 5 second came from, though.
Oh, he sped in the pits. Yeah, he did speed in the pits. I remember seeing that, so. Still experiencing a little bit of desync. I don't know if that's just on some of our drivers who are overseas. I know Eruption is overseas in Austria. So we'll just switch cameras for the moment. Hop on board with Garrett Elder, who's 2.7 seconds behind Sid on the fresher tires, followed by It's Shry, who's also within 1 second. Looks like Notorious Jelly is coming into the pits on lap 21, or 22, sorry. and we'll keep an eye on his overcut as well. Still 2 drivers out on the hard tires, Sneaky and Stelios. Really just hanging it all out there. If the lap times look good, I guess you just leave them out, right? You go for the softs.
Yeah, I mean, the hard tires do go very long and they don't really drop off, but this long at the moment, I don't really know. They'd have to be going on to the soft tires at this point, because going on the mediums would just be a waste.
Yeah, I feel like either you've already committed fully at this point. I just personally, I don't have enough data about the soft tire other than knowing that at most tracks it does not work. But maybe it works here. Maybe they know something we don't.
Yeah, I've seen that Weil. He's been on a different strategy this entire race, going mediums to hards, the only driver to do mediums to hards. And he's actually relatively not lost too many positions. Obviously, he had that spin from when he started, but he's still in P8, and that's where we saw him before. So, interesting.
Lots of lag all over the place. I hope that the drivers are not seeing what I'm seeing. I hope this is local to me, and I hope it's not affecting the stream as well, so.
I think it might be an issue with the lobby itself, because I saw it too.
Oh, man.
That's alright, we're still getting a good race. It hasn't affected us majorly, so.
Not that we're aware of, yeah, so hopefully that is true for the remainder of the race. Got a little bit of battle here between Eruption and Weil, but it looks like Eruption was able to get by pretty clearly. Gaps have really started to space out. Still have some drivers relatively close, but not too many drivers still in DRS range other than Weil on Eruption. And maybe Sid on Weil, so a little bit of a 3-way battle between those guys, but for what it's worth, well, we got a spin in the back. It's a non-Trevetti.
Oh. Yeah, those 22 lap old hard tires, I'd say it's definitely time to pit now, especially if you have as many spins as he had in this entire race. He's doing a little bit of burnouts just for fun. But you know.
Stelios into the pits.
If he should, Sid leaves the session. Interesting. Has Eruption spun again? He has. He's into the gravel.
Oh no, so Eruption not what you want to see.
Oh, he's left as well.
And he's left the session as well.
Very interesting spin as well. You normally wouldn't go off in, like, I don't know, the gravel of an entry of the corner, if that makes sense. But yeah, Stelios Repas has come out on the soft tire. This should warm up very soon. So has he played the ultimate strategy game, and has Alpine got some knowledge that we don't have?
Yeah, he's sitting in P7 right now, and you know, soft tire could be the move. I see a lot of lag. Yeah, seeing a lot of lag at the moment.
Yeah, I definitely hope that the situation between Mateo and Notorious Jelly wasn't what we thought it was, but Sid's AI has actually pit him again. So.
Oh, unlucky! Wow, lots of lag. What in the heck?
Oh well. I think I might have some insider information from Peter Giordano himself. Let me see what he's saying here. On Eruption screen, he is 7th. Huh.
Still driving, huh? Well, sounds like we've got some stewarding issues to deal with post-race.
Maybe desync has affected us more than we thought, because Eruption, you know, now that I think of it, all these incidents, maybe he's actually been in the right position at all the right times, but the other drivers have just not seen them. I've had that happen to me before, and it is the most frustrating thing, trying to get past cars and they just shove you right off the track.
Well, for the moment, we will assume that the race is continuing as we know, as we see it on our screen. But you never can tell what will happen in the stewards room after the fact. Fitz Dickwell is behind Sneaky. Oh, so Sid's able to rejoin as well. Sneaky's bot is still racing. I don't know if this is truly Sneaky or if Sneaky thinks he's racing in another lobby or what's going on, but Fitz going to try to reclaim that P13, and he's going to get it done right here. The bot moves out of the way, maybe spooks Fitz a little bit.
Yeah, very interesting to see this much desync happen in a race. We haven't had this issue in so long, at least not this badly.
Yes.
I don't know. That can't be Sneaky, surely, because... Or maybe it is, because 24 laps... Oh no, he's going for some Alex Albon type move right here. We got another migration of the host. Oh no.
Oh, so It's Shy has left the session. See if I can see anything in general chat of D2.
It said a 114 what is going on with these fastest laps here? I've seen a 1:14.4 that would be past the world record by far. I think in the end of the session, some
Extra telemetry
lobby-
might be needed.
Yeah. Well, you know, only with Codemasters, right? As it try pits, his bot pits, I would say, is
Yep.
not what you want to see in a league race.
Nope, not what you want to see at all. It's going to be a fun week for the admins, the moderators, the stewards having to figure out what is going on with this. But Codemasters has really taken what has been a pretty good race up to this point and really messed with it. And hate seeing that.
Yeah, never what you want to see, but I think some good action that we'll be able to see is Stelios Repas on Magnuson Cube. Those soft airs have been honestly not doing too much because he hasn't gained enough, at least not in the past few laps, but he's gaining now, so the battery difference is about 10% in Stelios' favor, so maybe we can see a move going into the first corner if we get a good sector time by Stelios in the third sector. He actually went purple in the middle sector, so I'm really questioning these fastest lap times now even more than I was earlier.
Well, he's going to have DRS as he heads down this front straightaway. He is 0.4 seconds, 0.3 now behind. He doesn't really have the battery to do anything with it, though. So Magnuson has 5% battery as well. Both drivers are pretty much out of battery as he sets a 119. That is probably our true fastest lap to Stelios.
Yeah, no world records being broken today here, folks. Sorry about that. As they make a bit of contact, actually, Magnuson is fully around.
Okay.
Okay, I mean...
That's
Stelios
Codemasters, right? That has to be desync.
I hope it was, because if not, that means that Stelios just completely ran through him.
Well, the good news is for Magnuson, that was the only spot he lost. There's a big gap behind. So for the time being, he is still in P7. And Sid has left the session again.
This has just become too confusing, honestly.
It's hard to keep up with. The one thing that I think we can agree is true, our top 5 are definitely where they're supposed to be, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I thought you were going to say that Cody sucks. Like, I can agree on that. But
Oh,
yeah.
we both agree to that. But I do think that our top 5, I don't think I've seen any sort of Codemasters antics. It's been the same top 5 that we've had from the very start. The 5 drivers are moving, and you know, a little bit of desync here and there, like lagging. But I think that we do have a true top 5. If they had to, I've seen situations in other leagues where they've had to shorten the race or accept the results from, like, let's say like lap 22, right? For maybe less points. If that were the situation, we could at least say, well, our top 5 didn't change.
Yeah, at this point with Cody's and all that's been going on, I wouldn't like, you know, I would have to double check if Beamer was leading this race if someone told me that he was, because yeah, it's just such a big issue in this game that we've seen for so long now. But
very unfortunate that we have to deal with this, but Ryan Newton has actually gotten into DRS range of Lights. I don't know if he's been on a move or if Lights had a moment or what happened, but he has caught up. He still got that 3-second penalty, though.
yeah, that gap was not the same last lap, so I just have to say that Lights might have had a moment there. So what I'd do here if I was Ryan Newton, obviously I'd want P2, but I'd also think about, you know, what's realistic, and being maybe dragged along by Lights is the strategy call here, because you get a bit of gain time on the car behind if you have DRS, and just to secure that P3, I think that would be the smartest decision here.
Yeah, if you're Colin Edwards, you're doing everything you can to push right now. Good news is that most of these drivers are spread out. We've had a couple drivers who have had contact because of the desync, but with the field being this spread out, I think for the most part, people are generically speaking hot lapping. So a lot of these positions should be pretty accurate. Go ahead.
Crucially, Lights has got a 3-second penalty as well, so this battle is for position now. As we have Weil around, that strategy was working for him until he took out the DRS board with him, but it is what it is with Weil and his wacky race. But Ryan, he's still building a tiny bit of a gap between himself and Klinsmann, but I've seen lights. He's made up 7/10 in one lap. Now what you really want to see if you're Doogie Falcons, you're
Yeah, that's
sitting
true.
pretty in the lead, and now you're going.
Oh,
this fast.
Nantra retired.
Safety car.
What in the world?
How do you even retire in that place? And how did it bring out a safety car? You'd have to like
A
hit the
safety
wall and
car with
slide all
3
the way.
laps left? I've never seen anything like this.
I would not be surprised if there isn't even a safety car for half these drivers, because we got a drive-through for Garrett Elder. This race is just brilliant, isn't it?
Well, we got... Remember what I said, at least the drivers didn't have to drive close? Well, I lied. Well,
Oh,
okay. Well, I've been disconnected from the session.
I've also been disconnected from the session. I'm gonna check if, well, I'm gonna check if the other drivers have seen. Let's see what Sneaky has said.
All right, well, we're going to take it to an intermission really quick, and hopefully we're back for the finish. All right, guys. Some unfortunate news today. We were not able to get a finish result on that race. We are going to, unfortunately, have to come to an admin decision, and we will let you guys know shortly. But I actually, you know what? I can go ahead and say that we do have a podium acknowledged, and we will be taking half points for this race from a certain lap. I believe that's going to be lap 16. And so our acknowledged podium for this race is going to be Dougie Falcons with the win. And in second place will be Lights. And in P3 will be Colin Edwards. This isn't something we like to deal with, and it's unfortunate, but this is what the game has come to. And we do hope moving forward to avoid these situations and hope that Codemasters can get this stuff figured out. Apologies to all drivers, all spectators who were involved in this, and we look forward to seeing you guys back next week. We still have more racing action tomorrow, hopefully avoiding any of this sort of incidents. Tomorrow, our Premier Division, Division 1, will race at 8 p.m. Eastern here at Portugal. Make sure you guys are back. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we will promise to push more F1 22 content out. Nathan Doan, any final thoughts?
Yeah, just very sorry to anyone who was expecting a good finish to that race, but I'm sure we all expected it to not get any better after our first disconnection. But not what you want to see, but thank you for sticking around anyway. I'm glad that I could at least bring you some kind of entertainment tonight, and I had fun. So, thank you.
I also did have fun, and I did one last apology. I know that this solution is not going to be appealing for everyone. That's why we're doing half points. We're doing what we can. Not everyone can be made happy. It just sucks. It sucks that the game is in this state. And it sucks that we have to make these decisions, but we're going to do what we think is best for the league. So we're going to take results from half of the race, and we'll move forward, and we'll move on next week. So thank you all again for tuning in, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you guys back tomorrow.